Good morning, guys. Rick Shaw here on Sunday the 16th of January 2022. And we did a live this morning. Sorry I couldn't do the, StreamYard, so I could get people joining in. But it was pretty lively. A lot of good back and forth on there about different topics. It was pretty cool. I was glad a lot of you guys joined in. I saw some people there that I'd never seen before. But I want to thank all you guys for coming. My regular folks, and that was pretty cool. It was a good live. We'll probably do another one Sunday. I don't know if it's good at this time for you guys, or whether should I do it around 7 or 8 in the morning here, or should I do it 7 or 8 in the evening? What's going to be better for all you guys. You can chime in on there if you want, and I'll try to make it so it suits everybody. But the laptop went back. I was real happy about that. I think I mentioned it on the last one, but it was so cool. They came and got it. They said they were gonna call us before they came, the shipping company. So I was like, okay, that's cool. So they didn't do that. The guy shows up at the door. So we're like Chinese fire drill, putting this all in the box, trying to get in there neat and safe so it doesn't get smashed. And we had collected all the stuff up already, had it sitting on the table to make sure everything went back. And then they take it and then they leave, and then comes back. They come back and bring it and say that it was canceled. So I went back with the seller, and nope, they didn't cancel it. I didn't cancel it. The shipper, somebody at the shipper's thing screwed up and decided to cancel. So I know that shipping company. I don't think I'll use those guys. That's for sure. So finally, next day they come back. They had the owner on the phone. On the phone with them, and they're saying, yeah, we got it, blah blah blah. And I walked inside, and I had just checked to see what was in the account. And when I went back inside, they were just getting ready to drive away, and I reopened up the account, and the money was there. So I was real happy about that. I didn't get a laptop because I'm not gonna do any more online for anything like that. I'll just go to a regular store or something, or get it from the U.S., something like that. I'll figure that out later. I'm doing pretty good with the phones. That's what I'm going to do. So what I did was I took that money and I got myself another one of these Sony cams. In case something happened to this one, I got a backup. Plus I got a real good underwater case. This one I have a hole drilled in the back for the microphone. So that way I'll have one that I can actually go underwater with. So that'll be really good. I'll probably put a float on it or have it something so it's locked to my wrist. Because if they ever let us out, I mean, holy cow! Before all this stuff happened, and I said this. You look in the Bible. A day is as of 1,000 years. Is what it states in the Bible. To God. So apparently, what I'm thinking is these dang people in government. They think they're all gods, because 2 weeks is the same as 2 years to these people. It's 2 weeks to flatten this baloney, and the hospitals were never full anyway. So this is just a con. It's a big con to get us to do something they're going to force us into. They got some people so screwy. I watched an interview from that Millennial Millie. You go watch her interview with this Karen that she had on there. You'll find it. Gosh dang, this woman was just out of her mind, out of her stinking mind of what she wanted. A lot of these people, they want you to have it. We talked about it on the live. And, if somebody got it, you got to get it too. Some of these people. Not all of them, but some of them. So I'm just like, holy cow, this is getting a little bit old. I would love to take the kids to the beach. I'd love to do a lot of things, but they're tying our hands down. We're not allowed to do anything because they're going to daddy us to death. And it's getting a little disgusting. What they've done doesn't work. Apparently, because this thing ain't gone away yet. I never heard of a flu that lasted longer than flu season, but they're making it last longer by making us do this stuff. That's what I say now. How could it be any other way? How in the heck could it be any other way than they're making it last longer? Never lasted like this before in the history of flus that I ever heard about. Never happened. But since they make you do this stuff, since they make you stay away from everybody, since they don't allow the kids into school, since they make you put on this ritualistic shame muzzle, since they've done all this stuff, they've made it worse. They took a seasonal flu and made it last 2 years. So when do they go to jail? When do they go to jail for this? Come on, guys, somebody's got to tell me this. There's something should happen to these people for this, because they took something that should have been gone already and they made it last longer by bumbling around and doing things wrong. They've mismanaged this thing from the beginning. The entire world government's mismanaged this from the very beginning. The only country I heard of that did it right is Sweden. And some places in Africa. So I'm just not getting it, guys. I'm just not. Excuse me. Still got a little bit of dry in the throat. But we'll see how all this pans out. You know, hopefully it'll be over. I've seen some reports on the Telegram that says, oh yeah, you know, it's they're in their last throes. They're going to throw everything at us because they know the narrative is out. And we are the news, guys. You can't trust ABC, CBS, MSNBC, CNN, all these people. You can't trust them. You know, they're just those are a bunch of knuckleheads in the bag. You can't trust these people. I'm starting to watch news around the world where, my goodness, people are just fed up with it, marching all over. Did I ever see anything on any of these news? And the same with the news here, this GMA news in this country. These guys are in the bag. They're so afraid to report anything. They're not going to report a damn thing. They're going to do exactly what they're told to say, and that's it. Reporters? There's no reporters here. None of them. You know, they just put these high muckety mucks up on there to tell you what you got to do, and they don't tell you why they're doing it. They don't tell you if people are asymptomatic. You know, they just keep throwing these numbers, and the news media isn't asking them questions. The original question I had, and I'm still wondering, guys, when they made this mandatory, and if you don't get it, you're going to have to pay for your own test, blah, blah, blah. Why are you still using a PCR that the rest of the world is getting rid of? That's faulty. They know it. Why are you not mandating your frontliners that are given this thing? Why are they? You know, these are just me. This is just me with a stupid camera walking around my neighborhood. And these are supposed to be college-educated news people. You know, they got some kind of degrees in something, and they can't come up with a valid question for any of this stuff? Or are they afraid that they're going to get shot in the back of the head and suicided? You know, could be. You know, there's a history of that. There's a history of that kind of stuff going on. Morning. Come on, baby. But yeah, it kind of sucks. But it's so funny. You know, the thing that really gets me is when this fella came in here, he was anti-DRUG, big time, and hey, I was all for that. You know, so why is this? There's this big push now though for a DRUG. I'm not getting that. Either you're for it or you're against it. You can't be on both sides. You know, just so, you know, if there's money coming your way, then you change your tune. Is that what happened? I don't know if that's what happened in other governments around the world. That's my question there. Not here, of course. But I'm not getting it. I remember going to school, you know, it was don't do drugs, and Nancy Reagan, just say no. Now the governments of the world are the biggest pushers of drugs. And when did our good Lord stop protecting us from illnesses? Why can't our own system work on this? You know what I mean? Why do we have to put our trust in these men that can't be trusted? I mean, holy cow, they talk about this Pfizer. Look at all the trouble they've had. Look them up. Look these guys up and see the billions of dollars they had to pay out in wrongful stuff. And then they're trying to hide this one, hold it back 75 years. Now this judge is saying, okay, you got to let it out in 8 months. You know, but still, why so long? You know, get this stuff out there. These guys know what's doing wrong, but they already made it. So they got to sell it. And when you know, these governments say it's a mandate. Well, as far as I can tell, that's not a law. You know, they'll bully these other places into doing it. But I just saw one up in Canada where a lady said no. They came in on her, says, "Yo, yeah, we're gonna put charges on you for this." And she's, okay, what are the charges? They can't tell her. They can't tell her, so she's just like, no, screw you. I ain't going for it. But it's a bullying tactic. And that lady just said no. She did a Nancy Reagan on him. She just said no. And I give her a lot of credit for that. I'd like to see what happens in the future. I tagged that little story so we can follow up on what's going to happen to her. But the Canadian government, they just pulled that thing. They were going to shut all the trucks down if they didn't get their stuff. Well, all them guys said, screw you. We'll shut you down. And guess what? They backed off. Now they stopped that supposed mandate. But guys, I never heard a mandate being a law. I never heard a mandate being a law, and I would like to see if somebody wants to tell me I got to do this thing. I want to see what's in it. I want to know why are you forcing me into an experiment? I want to know that. You're gonna force people into this. Here, you're not going to eat. You're not allowed to go anywhere. They're starting to set up road checks, I'm hearing. So, okay, then what's in it? Why are you forcing an experimental? And get it through your heads, guys. It's all experimental still. Okay, it's an MNRA. Why are you forcing me to change this? Okay, and why is the company not liable if something happens to me? How about you be liable? If they're going to force me into this, they should have a paper where they're liable. And eye for an eye. Eye for an eye. None of this stuff where you got to pay some of the money you stole off of everybody. You give me this thing and I croak, you're next. Against the wall, pal. Eye for an eye. Come on, I'm not going for this stuff. And I'm telling you what, I'm not the only one feeling this way. There's a lot more people than you would think. And I've heard of people now here, where we're at here, I don't know how it is anywhere else, but where we're at here now, used to be you got just the one and you're fine. Now it's two. Now you had to have the two. And they're going to change that. These goalposts have been continually moving for 2 years. And they're never going to stop moving. They're going to keep moving these posts on us, guys. That's just what they're going to do. And there has to be a reason for it. They don't care about you. They don't give a flying crap about you. Why are they doing this? Why aren't reporters asking them? You've been doing the same thing for 2 years. Apparently it hasn't worked. So you're doubling down on what you've done for the last couple of years. What's the point in that? Don't you have people who can think, working with you that say, hey, let's try this. Let's do something else. I got an idea. Why don't you just drop the whole charade, everything, all of it, make it all go away, make it pre-pandemic, and let's see what happens then. Stop the testing, stop all of it. That's what I say. Let's stop it all. Let's give that a whirl. Why don't we try that for 2 years? Okay? Well, we'll start out by saying now we're just going to do it for 2 weeks, and then after 2 weeks we're going to say, nah, it's working too good. We got to run it another month. All right, and until the 15th. Oops. 25 minutes later. Nope. Till the 30th. That's what happens here. This thing when they put this one on here, I was saying right off the bat when they said it's only going to be the 15th, I said baloney. They're going to push it to the end of the month. It's just what they do here. They just keep moving it back and back and back and back. They're not going to stop, guys. They're not. And I truly think even if the whole world stopped, it wouldn't stop here. It wouldn't, because they've got the COVID ball and they're playing it, and they're not going to quit the game. That's what I say anyway. And it's a shame. And their numbers, really, where's all these bodies? And are they people that were sick from something else? We did see a thing on here. I did a report on it. There was a girl on there and she made a big fuss. They took her down though, but she made a big fuss. Her husband was coming home from work and he got hit by a truck on his motorcycle and he was killed. And she made a big fuss because they took him to the hospital. That's the nearest place they could go instead of the funeral thing, and they tested him and said he had it. So then they wouldn't let her have the body, her own husband, to put him in the ground, like they do here. They put him in a box with a glass thing on top and they put it right in your house so that the people can come pay their respects. But they wouldn't let her have it. But of course now she can have it if she gives them 60,000 pesos. See? So what does that tell you? They're not worried about that. They don't going to care less about that. The only thing they cared about was cash. They were trying to extort this poor girl for cash, and she didn't have it, so she didn't get her husband. Who knows what they did? Or now are they did they charge her? But they got rid of her. Her channel is just completely gone. I tried looking for it. It's gone. And but this is the stuff they're pulling. It's what they're doing, and they're gonna kill these restaurants. They're gonna kill them. We talked about this on the live. They're gonna kill these restaurants, and their value will go way down. The value of these things will go way down. And guess what? These guys and their cohorts will pick them up cheap. Come on, truck coming. They'll pick these places up dirt cheap, and then when all this stuff goes away, they've got the property, and you watch the property prices go up. They'll go through the roof. It's my thinking anyway. I'm snowballing on this stuff. I'm just thinking that's what's happening. Don't know if it is for sure, but I'm just running it by you. But that's what it's looking like. They keep going on and on about this stuff. And somebody was saying, "Oh yeah, well maybe we get the new president here, it might get better." Maybe. Depends on who it is. I mean, somebody's got to finally stand up and say, enough of this is enough. They're just strangling the people here, just strangling the heck out of them. And I can see it getting real tough here coming up. But you get to a point. Yeah, these big stores and their security guards, because they're afraid of their stupid little job. I just talked to the guards up here. I think they make about $8,000 a month, but they're going to go get this Java, or they'll lose their job. Well, you know what I would do? Bye. I'll see you later. I can get something better than 8. Heck with that. These guys, they don't make squat, but they're so afraid to lose the job. And it's silly. There's just plenty to do, And then Stay Frosty was on there on the thing. You could read. I'm not going to keep it up there for too long, because I might have said something in there that gets the channel taken down. But he had said, yeah, it might be easy for you guys to say don't get it, but what about a young guy? Well, personally myself, if I were a young guy, same thing. I would do the exact same thing as what I talk about, and I would go out and find stuff. I ran into trouble before with work, and I started mowing lawns, and it turned into a landscaping business. It made a fortune. It made a fortune. I used to shovel snow. I used to clean people's gutters. I would cut trees down. It didn't matter. I had an old Gravely. I had a lawnmower. I actually went out and bought a 2-stroke lawnmower, because this one lady, she was bummed she couldn't cut her grass on the bank. And she would pay any price to get that grass cut, and you couldn't really do it with a weed whacker. I even tried it with a rope coming down, and she wasn't happy. It wasn't uniform, because it was actually a vetch, crown vetch, I think they called it, on the side of the hill. Well, I got a 2-stroke, and then what we did was I'd have my boy hold a rope up on the top, and I would just walk along and push that thing and then pull it back and run everything down the hill. And that lady was happy as a lark. And just for that little half-hour work back then, I was getting like $20. And she would always give us something to eat. Well, that turned into a really great thing. And that's what I would do now. If I was a young man and they said, you got to get this thing, bye. But I also heard of a young friend of mine, I won't say who he is, but he worked with a company, been working there for a few years, and they came in and said, sorry guys, you got to get it. You got to get it. So it was pretty good money for him. It's like $20 an hour for a young guy. He was like, yeah, I was pretty happy with that. And they were talking about moving him up and everything. Well, him and pretty much every one of the guys in there, 90% of the people working there were guys. 10% were women. Well, all the women didn't want to lose their job. They're going to go ahead and get it. Well, all the guys said no. And, they went up to him. They went up to the boss and said, hey, boss, are we coming in? Are we coming in on Monday? What's up? Are we supposed to show up on Monday, or are we done? Because we're not getting it. Guy made a few calls to the owner, and he came back to him and said, no, you won't have to get it. Everybody just come to work Monday. So that went away. Guys, that went away that quick. When people stand together, it's going to go away. Because you got to remember, there's way more of us than there are of them. And these what I call political parasites that are pushing all this crap on you, they do not have your best interest at heart. They're looking out for themselves, guys. They're looking out for themselves to get money in their pocket from yours. Where else can they get it from? They don't care about you. You're nothing to them. You're absolutely nothing to them. You drop over dead tomorrow, they won't even shed it. They don't. What do they care? You're nobody. They got somebody else replacing you. Doesn't matter what. Even if you're a worker for them, a housemaid, it's a big deal. Plenty more where that came from. Yeah, it's just like Stalin used to say, you know. But people take this baloney. They keep taking it, taking it, taking it. When are you going to stop taking this, guys? Because they won't stop. They will not stop unless you do. Tyrants never quit. You know, they just keep at it until they got you, until you are 100% theirs or in the ground. But what are they going to do when you just say, nah, I had enough of this. I'm sorry, I had enough of this. And I'm not going to do it. Yeah, some of the first ones that do that, the JBTs will come in and maybe do some stuff to them. But if enough people, it was like when I was down at Tropical Tim's. They told the people there's a big liquor ban on, and there's going to be no festival in Tondo. And we were sitting up on the balcony, Tropical Tim and me, and they had this like colonel of the PNP, and he had like 6 or 8 guys with him, and some of them had M16s, and they all had these big sticks like they're going to come around busting heads. And you could see the frustration on your face. You know why? Because everybody that we seen in Tondo was partying their ass off, drinking beer, sitting right out on the street. They didn't care. And you know what them cops were able to do? Nothing. They couldn't do nothing because everybody just said heck with it. You know, so I thought that was an eye-opener for me. You know, that's the way it should be. There shouldn't be all these people telling you what you have to do. That's not a free society. When they get in there and say you got to do this and you got to do that or else, or you can't go to the store, or we're going to arrest you and all that. What the heck is that all about? Why is there such a coercion on this? Why is there such a coercion on what's happening right now? Why are they pushing this so damn hard? You gotta question that. Why isn't the media questioning that? Why aren't they getting up and doing editorials? What's the big deal about this? You know? And they're going to blame, of course, they're going to blame everything on the unjabbed. You know, you can still catch it and you can still pass it, but it's those damn anti-jabbers. It's their fault. Go get them, boys. They're not people. We're going to cover up everyone's face so you can't see that they're a person. And yeah, that's going to be it. Take care of them. Get them out of here. Yeah, that's what they're going to do. Why do these countries, all these countries around the world, spend all this money? And this is way before 2 years ago they started building all these FEMA camps and all these mega isolation centers here and all this stuff. What'd they do that for? Why did they do that? Unless they had this is a pandemic. Why did they do that? Because they're going to throw you in there, and they're doing it. Look at Australia. My goodness, I couldn't believe Australia and China. What they're doing, they got these people thrown in them. So are you just going to wait till they haul you off to, they used to have a name for these places called gulags. Now they call them quarantine centers. Oh, it's such a nice sanitized name, isn't it, guys? It's the same thing. What's going to happen to you in there? What's going to happen if they come in to jobulate you and you don't want it? What's going to happen? Are they going to do it anyway? Or something else? They're gonna start giving you names like super spreader. You're not gonna be a person anymore. You're gonna be a super spreader. You bastard! We have to get rid of all these super spreaders, and that's where the narrative's going, guys. This is where they're going on this. Listen to how these people talk, and you know what's going to happen next. You know exactly what's going to happen next. Listen to these the scientists. Follow the science. Well, you know what I found out? Science is to be questioned. That's how you do science. But you're not allowed to question this one. You can question anything else in the whole world, but you are not allowed to question this one. You have to do as you're told. I want to know what's in it. Why don't you tell me what's in it? Why are you making me take an experimental thing? Why? Why are you coercing us and making it bad for us if we don't? For an experiment. How much money do you get from this experiment? There has to be something that you get to force it on me. So why don't you answer that? That's what I'm saying. And then you get minions upon minions to come after us, all the way down to the local units here. What's up with that? On something that has a huge survival rate. A huge survival rate. I'm hearing 99+%. Okay? And these people that are sick with all kinds of other things, when they catch the flu every year, they're usually goners anyway. You know, they either catch a pneumonia or something like that. That's just known. That's part of life. You know, everybody's going to go. Everybody's going to leave this realm at one time or another. You're going to shed off this body. That's just what happens. And I can't believe I saw a thing here in the Philippines. 65,000 people in 1919 died of the flu, is what they're saying. I didn't know they kept such good records, but that's what they're saying. And then 2020 was only 20,000? Well, dang, that sounded like a really mild year. So why all the coercion on a super mild year? And how come a lot of these people that are getting this thing are getting sick? I don't understand the reasoning behind this. I don't understand why you're telling the people that don't have it to get it because it works, but you're telling the people that did get it already to get another one because the first one didn't work. Why do you get to have it both ways? You know, why? I don't understand that. I'm not understanding why you people get to have it both ways. This is just ludicrous to me, and I'm going to leave it off on that. So this is Rick Shaw.